Welcome to the Fabulous Lifestyle Radio Show. Tune in for a vibrant mix of fashion, finance, and life's essential foundations. Join us for expert interviews, insightful discussions, and empowering insights to elevate your lifestyle. From fashion trends to financial tips and personal growth strategies, we've got you covered. So grab your headphones and get ready to be inspired. Tune in now to the Fabulous Lifestyle Radio Show and embark on this exciting journey with us.
Welcome back to the Fabulous Lifestyle Radio Show. I am your host, M. Teresa Lawrence. Today our guest is Carol Dysart, and we continue our exploration of the DISC profile. When we left off, we were applying DISC to personal relationships. And now I'm excited because we're going to talk about the application of DISC in the workplace. And the reason I'm excited about it is, as I've told you guys, every time I apply for a job, I'm given a profile. So, Carol, please explain how this can be used in businesses for teams, for leaders, especially how teams can relate to their leaders and things like that with the DISC.
I actually want to start one step before that, which is hiring. The HR departments all need to know DISC. And I did a profile for a man that was applying for a job, and he'd been an HR manager for years, 30 years. He'd already been in HR, been an expert, been a director. He said, "Where have you been all my life with DISC?" I went, "Well, everybody knows about DISC anymore, don't they?" He goes, "No, I never heard of it." And he said, "This is what we need in hiring, because your recruitment person has to know." And we actually, I don't know if you know this even, we have a DISC job profile. So you can literally analyze a job first.
Oh, you mean like what job you would be suited for?
Well, it says, okay, we want to hire a marketing manager, let's say. Well, what does that job, day-to-day, task related, who they talk to, what they do, what does that require of a person without even knowing style? Style comes out as a magical answer when three people who know the job well. This is very important, because if you don't take the person who manages the person who works side by side, and maybe one other person that really understands, maybe has been in the job before, they answer this questionnaire for job profiling. Not people profiling, just the job. And they have to come to a consensus of answers. So they each go through most least, and then they come together and go, "I said this is most, but this is least." And you go, no. Sally comes and says, no, it's this most and that least. And they have to agree before they can move on to the next question. So I facilitate that in companies, and I teach my DISC certified people how to do that too. So you get to those agreeable answers. Now I put it through the system of our software, and magically, in fact, the software is called hirSense, HIRE sense, okay? hirSense, and it is a higher sense of thinking. It's a high consciousness. Transformation is possible in a company that goes, you know what, we're going to use DISC as a cultural style, cultural context of our business now, because they profile the jobs. Now, then they go to the team leaders. Every team, every department has a team leader. What does a leader need to know about their team? So we profile with the regular DISC profile, either the Birds version or the Word version. We profile all the people on the team, and I bring them all together with the manager, and I say, "Manager Teresa, you have Joe over here, and Sally, and Alex is here, and John is there, and here's their profile. John's really great at these kinds of things. He's a detailed person, he's artistic, he's this. The others are different strengths." So the leader suddenly, looking at the report, because in the report it says, "This is your strengths," so they just have to read the lid. "Here's what your strengths are," and each person can report to the team. Here's what I love to do. Call me on these kinds of jobs, on these types of tasks. I'm really good at that. So now the team leader knows how to embrace, how to give jobs, how to reprimand, I mean, it covers the whole 9
So
yards.
I'm going to interrupt and talk about the Trueness Project. One of the
Yeah,
books that
please.
we teach is Ray Dalio's Principles, and in that book, he doesn't talk about the DISC profile, but he does talk about in his life and at Bridgewater, he would create baseball cards that had strengths, weaknesses, sort of like the players are judged,
Why
like you
not?
like their, and everybody knew who was good at this and who wasn't good.
I put it
Yes,
on the
so
back of my
so this
cards.
is interesting. Carol has provided these cards. They're sort of like baseball cards, but they don't have pictures on them. So,
They could.
but it is a tool, right? And Ray Dalio is, you know, he has this whole leadership thing going on with his book. And I always, when I teach the book, I go, and I wasn't aware of the DISC profile at the time. I said, you need to know who's good at what, and they shouldn't be offended if they're not put on a project because that's not their skill, right? And
Yeah.
Ray Dalio believes in total transparency. This is not a secret society.
No.
He would record
You
every.
already can see it. When you walk in the door, everyone else knows your style.
Right.
You don't know they know, but they
So
know.
instead of the baseball card, imagine having the DISC profile in front of you in a meeting when you're assigning a task.
Yeah.
And you can't hurt somebody's feelings
Yeah.
when it says, you're not good at this task. That doesn't mean you're not amazing at something else. It just means you're not good at that task.
Yeah.
And that's what I really enjoyed about this. And it really dovetailed with what I was teaching because it wasn't just a story in a book that this very wealthy man did for his company. This is what other companies are using. And it's important. And I know we're talking about the DISC bird profile, but there's another DISC profile that doesn't include birds, but this one's kind of fun to look
You
at.
print different versions. Same
Yeah.
report, same input, just comes out with either birds exemplifying things, because birds are easy to remember for most people. Then you go into the qualities.
So here's a question about the birds and about the DISC profile in general. So obviously, I know we have all the different styles in us, but some people come out pure dominant, some people come out, pure promoter, influencer, other people. So what is if you, and I'm sure you have this information,
Yeah.
what are leaders? I know people listening, they're like, I want that profile. What do leaders generally come out of? Like if you were going to hire the boss,
Yeah.
what is the best profile for the boss?
For a boss, you would need to find a chart. You don't need to know this, but you don't need a chart. But what you find in the reports give you these clue sheets.
Right.
And I recommend people laminate one or two of these that are summary data that you won't carry around and remember, because the language dominance, influence, you don't go talking around every day
It's
about
like,
the
I'm a
friend who's
dominant.
It's not a word that is part of the vernacular.
Although I like the parrot. I'm going to dress up in all these styles and I'm going to ba ba ba.
But this particular chart is talking about directness, openness, pace, and priority. So you want to know about a leader, and that's part of the job profile. What it comes out with is, do you need to be facing conflict? Do you need to be getting right down? Do you need to be open to other people? Or
So
do
it
you
depends
just-
on the job.
It totally depends on.
So if you're in a court situation,
Yeah.
you would need a different leader
Different
than something else.
That's right. In the company I started getting and was trained in, they did a survey of leaders in corporations all over the world, of
Right.
all industries. And there were 17 different industries represented. And so 17 different people got profiled, and they were all leaders, and all the styles were represented because it depended what's their product. Somebody in the manufacturing of clothing might be looking at, well, what do we need to do about these sort of things? It depends if it's manufacturing, if it's a service business. What kind of people is your target market? There's a lot of information to know, just like marketing as a survey of what are we going to sell what to and who. So the leaders have to take a role that gives them an ability to get right to the task and bottom line. That's typically a dominant style. But an influence style is needed when it comes to what? Selling. If you're the head of the sales team,
That
now
should
you
be a
need to be a
dominant style.
leader, but you need to be open and people-oriented. And if you're an IT professional, you need to be detail-oriented. And the I and the D, the dominant influence styles, really don't pay attention to the details. They can lose things. They go, oh, just do it sort of any way you want. I had a secretary, super high C, compliance to rules, and I said, just do it any way you want. And she looked at me with the biggest horror, shock, and fear on her face and said, I just want to do it the way you want it. I went, oh my God, I have to spell this all out, which was hard. I don't know how to do that. I haven't had the practice. That's another point. I could do it. I'm not dumb in the area of that, but I don't practice it, so my muscles are not developed in there.
So can we, let's say we take the test,
No,
but
excuse me, don't ever call it a
test.
test, because a test is a right or wrong, pass or fail. No.
so
It's a
let's
survey.
Okay,
It's a
so
questionnaire.
let's say we
and
take
that-
the questionnaire,
Profile.
we do the profile, we discover things about ourselves.
Thank you.
But we would like to be more like a different.
Yeah, oh yeah, what if you want to be different?
Yes.
Guess what? You're already all four. Here's the gift in a disc profile. That's the other kind that I use for the seminar, Money and You, that you go to.
Okay.
They're all over the world. They're using a thing called the Disc M. I call it for Disc for Money and You is what I named it. I have a Disc-C report. I say I did not invent disc. I just learned it and loved it and stayed with it forever. A lot of disc consultants take it, get good at it, but then leave and go do something else because now they know they don't need to be doing it. So everybody doesn't stay teaching it, but I went, this is my teaching career. This
Because
is
you
what I
are a
shift.
disc master.
I'm a master. They call me a master just because that was their handy name, but now I am. I really get that.
Okay.
But anyway,
So
but
with
I
that,
want to show you.
we're going
Oh,
to
we
take
have
a
to
break
stop.
now, and
Oh.
we're going to continue
Can
with
we
this.
come back to that?
Yes,
Oh,
we're
yeah.
going to come right back. All right, thank you, Carol.
Welcome to the Fabulous Lifestyle Radio Show, where we talk about food, fashion, finance, and foundations of life. We are live on KCAA Radio Broadcasting Network. KCAA is affiliated with CNBC, NBC News, and NBC Sports. We are sponsored by Sheltered Studios, Fire Connect, and Building Solid Foundation.